Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Wednesday, 28th May 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. AI is not going to replace you right now, but somebody using AI is going to immediately replace you. Details of this story after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda Gaston Brown wants to rewire how the public sector works, with artificial intelligence playing a leading role. The Prime Minister made the comments on the Brown and Brown show on Point FM on Saturday last, indicating the University of the West Indies Five Islands campus is already helping to build that future. Jamie J. Roche of ABS News reports.
It's no longer business as usual in the Antigua and Barbuda public sector. From slow systems to stacks of paperwork, Prime Minister Gaston Brown says it's time to plug into the future.
And we would hope that the issue of artificial intelligence will be a significant component, recognizing that it is critical that our people learn insights as to how they can utilize AI and machine learning to increase efficiency. UWI Five Islands campus is tasked with building a public sector governance module with AI at its core, giving public servants the tools to work smarter and not necessarily harder.
The public sector is ripe for AI productivity, to increase productivity. I have this saying on my personal signature: AI is not going to replace you in parentheses right now, but somebody using AI is going to immediately replace you. Right? So whether you're in the public sector or not, this technology is not going away.
It comes as government ramps up efforts to fix persistent problems in the service, from chronic absenteeism to the fear of disciplining some workers. Prime Minister says it's not about going after public servants, but boosting results.
We are raising the necessary resources, we are implementing. So this is not just talk. You know, to Dr. Charles, that we would have agreed to give up to 25 scholarships per year for our students to study AI, computing, and so on.
And speaking of AI, the second annual conference hosted by UWI Five Islands is just around the corner. It's a showcase of what AI can do, from data science to digital transformation. And Prime Minister Brown says the government will foot the bill for public servants to attend.
Excellent, thank you, because they need to see what this is all about.
From big ideas to bold moves, the government says this is how it plans to build an efficient, responsive, and tech-savvy civil service, with AI leading the way. Jamie J. Roche, ABS News.
In other news, customs revenues were up by over 9% for the first 4 months of 2025 compared to the same period last year in Antigua and Barbuda. Comptroller of Customs Raju Bodu disclosed the latest figures during an exclusive interview with ABS Television on Wednesday last. ABS Ursel Charles Jr. reports.
Revenues collected during the first third of 2025 by the Customs and Excise Division are almost at double-digit growth over last year's receipts. Comptroller of Customs Raju Bodu shared the details with our news team early Wednesday, citing a more than 9% increase.
Last year we made tremendous progress in terms of revenues, record-breaking $500 million plus revenues, and this year it continues. The good news is that we are clocking around 9.3% growth. Having achieved almost kind of a maximum last year, still we are building on and consolidating on those revenue base.
He outlines the figures collected between January and April of 2025.
For the first 4 months, we have raked up about 173.4 million against 158.6 million, roughly about 15 million more than the last year.
The comptroller also reveals figures as at the 20th of May 2025, they've already surpassed 204 million EC dollars. Budu says this bodes well for another record-breaking year.
By the standards, what we are hoping and projecting is that, it's a 1/3 of the year, about 200 million. So we are going at a pace of, let us say, 10%. So we should be making around 560 thereabouts.
He remains, though, unsure how U.S. tariffs of 10% on imports to the U.S. will affect imports into Antigua. The Customs Controller reveals construction for development projects across the country, private, commercial, and tourism-related, continues to be the main driver of the revenue surge. He also reveals government's decision to limit exemptions on certain imports have caused discretionary importation from January to April to amount to only $10 million. For ABS News, I'm Ursula Charles Jr.
The rise of artificial intelligence, AI, and shrinking advertising revenues are significantly threatening the sustainability and independence of media across the Caribbean. This was the core message as the Caribbean Media Summit 2025 opened on Friday under the theme Evolving Media Business Models in Turbulent Times. HGP's Dacia Richards reports.
Kiran Maharaj, president of the Media Institute of the Caribbean, speaking at the opening of the Caribbean Media Summit on Friday, under the theme Evolving Media Business Models in Turbulent Times, said that this title was chosen due to the deployment of artificial intelligence, AI, a tool that's now added and is widely used in the profession.
AI is really changing the dynamic of how we do things. For us in media, it's even more daunting.
Maharaj highlighted that artificial intelligence has presented many challenges for the Caribbean media landscape.
Shrinking advertising revenues, the relentless advance of artificial intelligence, and the ever-present risk of natural disasters that test the resilience of our infrastructure and the sustainability of our business models.
In addition, the Media Institute president said that artificial intelligence threatens independent journalism, and the summit provides a forum for a call to action. President of the Ghana Press Association, Nazim Maragabir, reinforced comments made by Maharaj as she added that there has been rapid technological advancements across the Caribbean region.
These factors have significantly impacted how journalism is practiced and how media houses sustain their operatives.
She added that to address the challenges in this evolving environment, there is certainly a need for a collaborative approach to grapple with the changes in the landscape. The two-day summit will feature many speakers who will address challenges that occur in the media presently. For AGP Nightly News, I am Dacia Richards.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
As Trinidad and Tobago eyes the proposed reopening of the Petrotrin refinery, industry leaders, experts and companies are voicing optimism about the economic ripple effects such a move could generate. TTT's Sunil Lala spoke with El Dorado Offshore Vice President Sarona Samaru in this week's Business Insights.
As discussions around the reopening of the Petrotrin refinery gain traction, one of the Caribbean's leading energy manpower firms is expressing strong support for the move. Vice President of El Dorado Offshore Sarona Samaru believes the refinery's revival could be a turning point not only for their company, but by extension, TNT's energy sector.
That will also bring significant investment and possible revenue generation into the company. The other projects that are being explored right now as well, those are forecasted to bring even greater revenue and success into the company. What that allows is the more projects we have, the more international investors that are coming in here to work. It stimulates the economy, but also provides opportunities for local content development and opportunities for employment opportunities for persons in different communities across the country.
The refinery's potential reopening isn't just about infrastructure, it's about people. And Eldorado Offshore says they're ready to help rebuild the workforce.
So I imagine once that refinery, the process takes its step to be reopened, we will have to be, of course, invited to tender or bid to provide the manpower services. Thus far, obviously, we have to be patient with that process. But if we are indeed invited to provide that service, we will play a major part in providing local labor and providing training for the relevant persons to ensure that capacity is built to provide the relevant services that are required for the refinery to operate.
Founded in Guyana in 2015 and expanding to Trinidad a year later, Eldorado Offshore has grown into a regional powerhouse.
We started with just 2 employees, and now we've scaled to over 700 employees regionally in Guyana, Trinidad, Suriname. We're also the first Caribbean company to secure a global contract with an energy sector company in North America.
Today, Eldorado provides labor for every offshore rig in the Caribbean.
Because of our success in the Caribbean, a lot of international investors who work in the Caribbean have asked us to provide that same service in their other areas of operation, Houston, Louisiana, Alaska. We even have Trinidadians who work in Newfoundland right now offshore.
The company is also investing in local talent with thousands in the recruitment pool.
We have a talent pool of over 8,000 people in Trinidad and Tobago, over 5,000 in Guyana, and we keep replenishing that pool with career fairs, workshops, having those community outreach sessions to ensure that while we scale our business, our talent pool is also readily available to provide that service when our clients need it.
Despite concerns about a maturing energy sector, Ms. Samara says TNT still has a lot to offer.
If you look at our LNG infrastructure, it's one of the most world-class infrastructures in the Western Hemisphere. How do we translate that LNG into power? You have solar energy that's now being developed. Projects are coming on stream for that. We are one of the few countries in the Western Hemisphere that has that deep water ports, and our geographical location allows us to be a strategic hub for companies and countries to use us for their stacking of rigs and even for vessels to dock in.
Looking ahead, Eldorado Offshore is setting its sights on Brazil, Mexico, as well as Alaska, Houston, and other parts of North America. I am Sonolala with your TTT News.
15 male and 2 female Trinidad and Tobago nationals met a far sterner reception than recent parliamentary dignitaries when they touched down at Piarco International Airport on Saturday morning. Joel Green George of Tobago Updates Television News has more.
Deportees were received by Special Investigations Unit officers and officials from the NGO Vision on Mission. Minister of Defense Wayne Sturge outlined their multi-pronged approach to addressing the issue of receiving deportees.
We had meetings this week, first of all, with Vision on Mission, and having regard to concerns they expressed, we decided to invite 3 stakeholders, namely the Chief of Defense Staff, the SIU head, Superintendent Edwards, and the Chief Immigration Officer, with a view to ensuring that the debriefing and transition goes smoothly.
This deportation flight is the second wave. The first wave took place in March, and over 1,100 more deportees are expected. Of those who were allowed to go free, 3 are housed at Vision on Mission's Wallerfield Center, while the remaining 12 have been accommodated by relatives. Many struggle to cope with being separated from their children and loved ones. Vision on Mission has stepped in, offering housing, trauma counseling, legal aid, and job training to the detainees. CEO Giselle Chan says deportees deserve a second chance. Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News.
The climb in the exchange rate of the US dollar in Jamaica is no cause for alarm. This TVJ Business Day edition explains.
The US dollar recently hit the $160 mark, sparking concern among some Jamaicans about the stability of the local currency and the country's economic outlook. But Governor for the Bank of Jamaica, Richard Biles, says the climb isn't a cause for alarm.
So every year, the market for foreign exchange grows somewhat. So I don't think I am unduly worried about the selling 100 million more this year than last year. The 160, yes, every 150, 160, 140 marker always has a psychological impact. It's like people don't think there's any difference between 151 and 159. You know, it's the same 150 something. But once it hits 160, my God, you know, even though the margin, the change is really quite marginal. So we are aware that there is this psychological effect, but we don't control the market.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.